Imagine a world where the majestic glaciers that have stood for millennia are vanishing before our eyes, leaving behind a legacy of loss and a call to action. In the early hours of a cold morning, the sun slowly rises over an endless expanse of ice and snow. The glaciers, ancient and silent, glisten in a pale light as they reflect both beauty and resilience. Their towering presence holds secrets of Earth's past, a record of climates and epochs long gone. We behold these water towers with reverence, for they have nourished communities and sustained life across continents. The ice formations tell tales of endurance and quiet strength. Each ripple and crevice is a chapter in a story of centuries, a living archive of nature's persistent artistry. The vast blues of frozen water encapsulate the delicate balance between nature's power and vulnerability. We see the glaciers in their pristine state, monumental in scale, and they command respect and awe in every sweeping frame. Their shimmering surfaces evoke poetry in stone, echoing the intricate work of time, while every curve reveals a history marked by both brilliance and fragility. Yet, these magnificent forms are not eternal. As we gaze upon their untouched splendor, a silent warning resonates in every beam of light dancing upon the ice. These ancient giants, which have long been Earth's water towers, supplying up to 60% of our planet's annual freshwater, now shimmer with the uncertainty of a waning legacy. They stand as testaments to Earth's capacity for miracles, even as they warn us of the delicate equilibrium that sustains life. In the quiet spaces between these natural breaths, time appears to slow. Observing the interplay of light and shadow on the ice invites us to reflect on our small yet significant place in this vast tapestry of existence. Each glacier is a monument, a guardian of memories sealed within its frozen depths. Their silent beauty stirs within us both hope and melancholy. With every brilliant glimmer, there lies the promise of renewal, shadowed by the inevitability of change. The solemn nature of these icy titans reminds us that beauty and impermanence often dance hand in hand. Beneath an expansive azure sky, the glaciers glisten like natural cathedrals carved by elemental forces. Shadows and highlights interlace to form living tapestries, each strand of ice telling a story of resilience and decay. The grandeur of these frozen monuments is mesmerizing, drawing us into the mysteries of natural history and the timeless dialogue between creation and dissolution. A mountain of ice, stoic and immovable in days gone by, now radiates an inspiring calm, even as subtle forces of change gnaw at its edges. The immaculate surfaces reveal patterns as delicate as lace and as formidable as ancient ramparts. The whispered winds seem to echo softly through the frozen expanse, reminding us that nothing remains untouched by time. Golden light caresses the ice that has cradled life for countless generations, and these majestic panoramas evoke a blend of wonder and sorrow. Stunning vistas merge with intimate close-ups to tell a story of a world in transition, one where the secure embrace of ice slowly gives way to uncertain futures. A hush falls over the scene, as time, measured not in fleeting moments but in epochs, moves with deliberate grace. As the relentless passage of time leaves its mark, the scene shifts from breathtaking beauty to a harrowing reality. The once immovable giants now yield, their storied surfaces retreating into memories of glacial might. Time-lapse sequences reveal this inexorable loss, capturing every moment as shards of a frozen past crumble away. Scientists and environmentalists now warn that change is not a distant threat, but a present reality. In the towering Alps, 50% of glacier area has melted away since 1950, with some projections suggesting that entire glaciers may vanish entirely by the century's end. This statistic is not merely a number. It represents a cascade of environmental repercussions that endanger water supplies, food security, and entire ecosystems. Each melting fragment is a page torn from nature's story, signaling the urgent need to heed the warnings of a warming planet. Local communities have become living witnesses to this dramatic transformation. Along the receding margins of colossal ice fields, residents watch as their life-sustaining water sources dwindle. In the high Andes of Peru, farmer Saul Luciano Luya stands beside lands that once promised an abundant future. His eyes, a mirror of sorrow mixed with steadfast resolve, reflect the plight of communities facing a warming world where every melting droplet signals the end of an era. The human cost of glacier retreat is profound as families encounter hunger, displacement, and the loss of traditions forged over generations. It is a daily struggle where survival itself hangs in the balance. Beyond the intimate tragedies faced by local communities, the glacial retreat stokes a broader chain of ecological consequences. The slow dissolution of these icy giants triggers a cascade of effects that ripple across continents. As ancient ice surrenders to the forces of a warming climate, freshwater reserves diminish at a pace that threatens not only isolated regions, but also the overall balance of global water cycles. In North America and Europe, an unprecedented rate of loss has been recorded, doubling previous decades' figures and undermining the stability upon which many depend. In Switzerland, the collapse of the Birch Glacier once swallowed the village of Blatten, an event that underscored the perilous thin line between natural beauty and raw, elemental power. Such dramatic incidents remind us that each glacier is a fragile sentinel and that their soft-spoken warnings can escalate into chaos in an instant. The retreat of these majestic ice towers symbolizes more than a loss of physical substance. It represents the erosion of an entire natural heritage. Each crack that forms on a glacier's surface is a resonant call to awaken from our complacency. The visual testimony of retreat is an urgent message, a plea to recognize the delicate interplay of nature's abundance and fragility, and to take responsible steps before it is too late. As glaciers continue their silent retreat, their diminishing mass triggers profound ecological shifts that undermine the very fabric of life. The thawing of ancient ice reserves instigates shifts in natural systems, altering water distributions, transforming river courses, and reshaping local climates. In regions nourished by glacier-fed rivers, water scarcity becomes an increasingly harsh reality. Farmlands with rich, arable soil may soon face parched conditions, while urban centers reliant on glacial melt for their daily water needs stare into an uncertain future. With each drop of melting ice, we are reminded that the global climate is an intricately woven tapestry, where the disintegration of one thread can precipitate systemic collapse. The personal stories emerging from these landscapes are as compelling as they are heartbreaking. In mountain villages nestled in the shadow of receding glaciers, tales of loss intermingle with accounts of resilience. Elders recount memories of summers spent skiing on pristine slopes and winters filled with the echo of wind and ice. Young ones learn the lore of their ancestors, stories passed down through generations that speak of harmony with the natural world. Yet, with each year that the ice retreats, these traditions face erosion. People who once celebrated the enduring presence of glaciers now stand at the crossroads of change, burdened by the weight of environmental loss and the uncertainty of their future. The melting of glaciers is more than a scientific phenomenon. It is a direct and deeply personal experience for the communities that have lived alongside them for generations. Glaciers are the lifeblood of these regions, providing a consistent source of fresh water for drinking, agriculture, and hydropower. The once reliable flow of meltwater is now unpredictable, affecting irrigation for crops and leading to water scarcity in the dry season. This instability forces communities to adapt in ways they are not prepared for, including shifting their agricultural practices. The visual disappearance of the ice also alters the landscape that has long been a part of their identity and heritage. The once permanent ice-covered peaks now expose bare rock, a stark and visible sign of the changes afoot. Amidst the mounting challenges, however, there emerges a steadfast glow of hope, a reminder that the human spirit is as resilient as the ice it strives to protect. In the face of overwhelming odds, Individuals and communities worldwide are mobilizing, determined to restore balance and safeguard the future. Scientists merge decades of research with innovative technology to explore strategies that can slow the melt and preserve these vital water towers. In alpine villages and remote mountain hamlets, inspiring projects have taken root. Local organizations have launched ambitious initiatives to conserve dwindling water sources. In places where the air is thin and every resource is precious, farmers experiment with adaptive agricultural techniques and contemporary sustainable methods. There's a palpable sense of urgency in these efforts, a collective recognition that every small victory counts in the fight to preserve our natural heritage. Across borders, collaborative research projects are emerging as beacons of hope. International teams of scientists are studying the rapid loss of glacial ice, not only to understand its impacts, but also to develop strategies for environmental restoration. These projects aim to create localized water reservoirs, promote renewable energy alternatives, and employ nature-based solutions that harmonize human activity with the imperatives of conservation. The dialogue between environmental stewardship and technological innovation is evolving into a powerful narrative of restoration and renewal. Stories of hope shine brightly in the midst of despair. In communities where sorrow once dominated the landscape, the emergence of youth-led environmental clubs signals a new dawn. Children, inspired by the legacy of their elders and the resilience of nature, are learning to become guardians of the earth. Their initiatives, from reforestation projects to local water conservation programs, are small steps that ripple outward, igniting the possibility of a sustainable future. For many, the melting glaciers are a call not only to mourn, but also to act. Indigenous communities, who have long viewed glaciers as sacred and life-giving, are at the forefront of preserving these natural wonders. They share ancestral knowledge that teaches respect and stewardship of the land. Their voices, imbued with wisdom passed through countless generations, remind us that the earth is not a commodity to be exploited, but a living entity deserving of care. In their quiet determination lies a powerful lesson that even as nature changes, its intrinsic worth remains beyond measure. Nature, too, speaks of resilience. After the harshest winters, delicate patches of ice still cling desperately to ancient slopes. Green moss and alpine wildflowers emerge in cracks of barren rock, brave testaments to life's ability to persist, even in the most desperate conditions. Every vibrant shoot, every blossom in unlikely places, whispers a message of renewal, of hope, rekindled in the face of adversity. The imagery is breathtaking, a compelling demonstration of both the fragility and the indomitable strength of our natural world. In the confrontation between loss and rebirth, every determined step towards restoration becomes a symbol of our shared responsibility. The landscapes that were once solely defined by glaciers now transform into canvases of potential, where human ingenuity converges with nature's unmatched capacity for renewal. Whether through innovative water conservation systems, community-driven environmental education, or cross-border scientific collaboration, the efforts to stem glacial retreat are a clarion call to all of us, to reimagine a future where hope triumphs over despair. The narrative of melting glaciers is a complex tapestry woven with threads of beauty, sorrow, and resilient hope. It is a story written in ice and water, echoing across time and space, urging each of us to consider our part in preserving the planet. As the glaciers recede, they leave behind not only scars of what has been lost, but also seeds of potential waiting to sprout into solutions that can change the course of our future. Now, as our journey reaches its poignant end, we return to the faces and hearts of those who remain on the front lines. Their determined eyes reflect a commitment to heal the wounds inflicted by climate change, and their quiet actions become a beacon of light in a time of profound challenge. The message is clear. Though the battle is daunting, every effort matters. The legacy of the glaciers, recorded in each ripple and every fragment of ice, is both a solemn reminder of our shared loss and a powerful catalyst for change. Let us embrace this moment with the resolve to stand together. Every heartbeat, every action, nourishes the hope that even the gentlest efforts can reverse the tide of change. In the vast, magnificent echo of disappearing ice, let us find the strength to fight for a world where nature's splendor is not a fleeting memory, but a thriving reality. Join the movement to combat climate change and protect our planet's vital water sources.